blinking LEDs. But before that, before we go into all the details, this is a brief repetition of what we already know. Something that we should know and something that we should always do when we start a physics chem editor is use the identify button that's on the top corner, which I just showed. That will help us and that will help this particular editor know that physics chem is connected and where it is connected. Now there are a few basic things that we need to know before we start making LED. And most of this stuff I already talked about, but I think it is very important that we understand this, then only we will be able to do the rest of the stuff. So I go into details once more, and the very first thing that comes to my mind is variables. These are very important because every now and then whenever you do any kind of programming, you keep using them. And it's very important that we understand what are they and how they work. So just like anything that you want to keep, for example, you have a refrigerator and you want to put 10 eggs in it, you need some space to put those eggs. And generally they are in the raw compartment, so you keep them one by one stacked there. Now if you have room for only 10 and you bring 20, you cannot place there. So you have to make sure how much space you have and how much you can put in there. Let's say you have a certain amount of dollars, $10, and then I give you $2, so you have now $12, which means the amount of dollars change. Then you buy something for $5, again the amount of dollars change. So if you want to do something of that sort within your code, let's say you want to represent how much dollars you have, that thing keeps changing every time. So those things are the sort of things that we will describe with a variable. The variables allow the quantities to change, but still they have a name or a holder like dollars or my amount or my dollars or something like that.
You know, newer microcontroller called an ARMLab. And what I did is, you guys might have seen these toys like there's toys like this. I think I've seen them at Walmart or Target where I got the idea. And basically what it does is through some sequence, it lights up these LEDs in a certain way and fast enough to actually display text across the front of this moving wand. And then I basically have a motor that just brings the wand and makes it swing back and forth. And there's also a string on that that's connected to it to give it a nice flowing motion. So I mean, this is all I just programmed to just display this text, and then after you connect the sensor the way I showed you in that circuit diagram, and you put this code in there, it'll work. And it will give you back the number to the debug terminal and tell you how far some item is away from the sensor. I'm just going to run through this real quick because some parts of this deal with things that we don't really want to touch on here, which is synchronous serial communication and other things that are more devoted to like a full course. So basically, at the start of this code, I defined two variables. I defined distance and a variable is called I. I'm going to be using it later. Then I defined two constants, CL and DT. And then I tell DT to become an input and CL to be high. And this is all stuff that's defined inside a data sheet for the sensor. So after several hours of reading a data sheet for the sensor, you'll be able to pick this information out and actually make it work. Because it took us about 2 or 3 hours to figure this out. And then I have a main program here, which basically represents the main program that you may be running for your robot. You know, going around, driving around, clicking an LED or whatever. There's some main loop. And within inside this main loop, I'm doing all this activity. So then at some point, I would like to get information from the sensor. So I'd like to invoke a go-sub routine. So I use the go-sub command, get distance, and it jumps down to here to the get distance subroutine. So whenever I say go-sub get distance, it comes down, executes a subroutine here, and basically that subroutine takes care of all the communication with the sensor, and it returns the value of the distance of the object away from you. So it completes that, and then it basically returns right to the end of the go-sub command. So it's like you never left. And then it prints the distance in the debug terminal. And then it waits 100 milliseconds, and it does it all over again. you guys can handle that. This program is available. Once you look at the circuit diagram that I put here before, that I showed you before, you should be able to look it up and then run this code, this program right there, and then it should work flawlessly. So, give that a try. Oh yeah, we'll put the circuit diagram up here too. The 1K resistor is, I don't remember.
It's the other one besides the purple.
Black, red. It's 1,000 ohm resistor.
Yep. Okay.
Come on, turn.
Thank you for turning. Unfortunately, it's going the wrong way.
It's alright, look them out.
It makes left just anodized and it gets stuck.
Come on.
Is it not on the gate?
It's better than the others.
It's alright. I'm back.
I got out. It really likes the other room.
Come on.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Come like
That's good.
There we go.
Is Ryan Miller. I recently graduated from Central School, and I will be attending UB next year to major in aerospace engineering. So I'm obviously interested in technology, and that's why I wanted to attend this program. Anyway, an overview of the program is, well, I was first interested in this workshop because I am a complete nut about technology, and this workshop would be very fun and interesting. This workshop proved to be an excellent way to give students a chance to learn the different applications of robotics and virtual reality. And best of all, the workshop shows students how to program programs in both of these fields. So it was actually very difficult to learn how to basically talk to the computer and in its own language and come up with a set of commands to make it do exactly what you want it to do and to work exactly how you want it to work. It's like maybe that comma misplaced in one of your program lists is just caused something to freak out. So it was an experience. And first day we were introduced to the world of virtual reality. The program that we were introduced to for virtual reality was called ARMLab, which is a virtual reality modeling language. And robotics. Robotics taught us how to program robots. We also learned that robots are pretty stupid. They only do exactly what you tell them to do, no more. And they frequently screw up and go bonkers over misplaced comments and whatnot. So, and those project we assigned partners. Unfortunately, I